So tell us a little bit about your lab.
So my lab is mostly a basic science lab. So we study kind of fundamental questions in biology. And in particular, we're interested in the functions of cilia. And you might know cilia for their functions in the lung, where they, for example, move pollen or other particulates that you might breathe in out of your lung. But the cilia that we study aren't these modal cilia that coat the surface of the lung. They're more these immodal cilia that just exist one per cell, so they don't move, and they're on all sorts of cells in your body, bone cells and skin cells and neurons in your brain even. It's been a little bit unclear what they do, but what we're figuring out is that they function as sorts of cellular antennas. So very much like an antenna on your TV set, used to be, or on a bug, is involved in sensing cues from the outside world. These cilia are involved in sensing signals from other cells that are important for all sorts of things that you might not expect. So, for example, you have 5 fingers and not 6 or 4 because of the correct functioning of your cilia in interpreting a particular cue that's made during embryogenesis, during early embryonic gathering.
Interesting. Okay, and what do you focus on at your lab?
So my lab is interested in the role of developmental and embryonic signaling pathways in cancer, with a particular emphasis in brain cancers. And one of those pathways that Jeremy mentioned that's important for figuring out how many digits you have on your hand is known as the Hedgehog pathway. We also know that that particular pathway is important for certain types of cancers, one of which are brain cancers. And so collectively, we're interested in what causes these pathways to go from signaling normal developmental biology to causing pathophysiology in cancer to grow.
Huh, cool. So when did you two begin collaborating?
Early on, I got interested in Jeremy's work around the time that I came to UCSF as a resident physician in the Department of Radiation Oncology. Joined Jeremy's lab as a postdoc, and I'm just now finishing up that experience and starting up my own lab as a member of the faculty in the Department of Radiation Oncology.
Wow, congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
And so tell me how your lab and Jeremy's lab complement each other.
Well, I think that Jeremy really described nicely one of the big strengths of the Reiter lab, which is this emphasis on fundamental basic biology and signaling structure of cilia. My lab focuses more on cancer biology and translational aspects of that signaling. And so I think together we have a good armament of tools and expertise for understanding how these fundamental biologic pathways influence human disease.
Cool. And the title of your proposal is How Fats Cause Cancer. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so when we think of fats, we're not talking about the fats that you might be envisioning. So we're not talking about the nice marbling of a steak or anything like that. So it turns out that each of our cells, even cells that aren't involved in fat tissue, is comprised of 3 main types of molecules. So one are, for example, the nucleic acids and the sugars that are involved in storing genetic information and giving the playbook for the cell. 2 are the proteins that do much of the work within the cell. But 3 are fats that are found within every cell. And some of these types of fats, perhaps most famously a particular phosphoinositide called PIP3, are involved in signaling events. So actually communicating amongst various different proteins in order to get the cell to do something. Very much like the way we normally think of proteins as doing something. Fats or lipids can be involved in that process as well. And so it's those types of signaling fats that we're particularly interested in, ways in which those signaling fats might be going awry in certain types of cancers to cause normal signaling events to become abnormal signaling events that cause the cells to overgrow, and that's kind of the hallmark of cancer.
Interesting. Okay. Well, again, congratulations on being selected for the Bold and Basic grant.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Thanks.